Welcome to Cook 30. I'm Jeremy Dixon from the Revive Cafes in Auckland, New Zealand, and also wrote the Revive Cafe cookbooks. And today I want to share with you some delicious cafe-style meals that you can cook in your very own home. Cook 30 food is all about using whole food ingredients. We're going to be using protein sources like beans, lentils and nuts. We're going to use fresh fruit and vegetables, whole grains like brown rice and quinoa, and tie it all together with international spices and herbs and flavours. And the best part about Cook 30 food is you do not have to spend hours slaving away in the kitchen to make it. I'm going to show you how you can, in just 30 minutes, make a delicious healthy meal for your family. On the menu today we have a shepherdess pie with lentils and potato mash. We have a seedy slaw with lemon dressing, a beautiful sesame cucumber ribbon salad, and to finish it off, pineapple rice pudding. Okay, to start any meal quickly, we want to make sure everything is prepared. We have the oven on at 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. The jug is boiled, boiling water ready to go. Pans on the stove, hot and ready. Clear workspace, chopping board, and a good sharp knife ready to go. If you don't have those things at the beginning, it can make your meal take a lot longer. So these things are really worthwhile getting sorted out. So the first job is potatoes. For the shepherdess pie, we need mashed potatoes on top. So we want to get the potatoes in boiling water really quickly. So the jug is boiled. I pour this into the pot and turn this on to maximum. And chopping up some potatoes. So I've just got some white potatoes here, and probably need around about 6 small ones, so probably around about 1 kilo or 2 pounds. And we're going to chop them up really small. Well, not really small, but small enough so they cook quickly. You want to make sure there aren't any big pieces, or they can take up to 20 or 30 minutes to cook. So nice and small, keeping your cuts economic. So you're only cutting the minimal number of times that you need to. It's really good when you're making these type of dishes to make your own kind of components. Things like mashed potato. You can buy pre-done potato mash in the supermarket, but often has a lot of flavours and flavour enhancers and preservatives and things. So the more you can cook food from scratch, just using basic fresh ingredients, things actually taste better, and you'll find that you'll have better health because you're eating better food. So that's all done. So I'll put these in the boiling water. Just like that. And we'll get to the boil and then we'll turn it down, but we want those cooking really fast. Now the next part we want to make for the shepherdess pie is the base with the lentils. So to start with, we can make our own tomato sauce, but I've just got a really nice organic pasta sauce. And all the ingredients have in it is just tomatoes, a little bit of salt, and a few spices and herbs. So very good products that you can find. We probably want to get an onion on, so grab a red onion. So one red onion, or this is a massive one, so we'll just do half of this massive one. We're just going to chop it up into chunks. And with this, we're going to kind of roughly cube it, just so there's a bit of texture in it. Red onions are quite a special, beautiful ingredient. So we don't want to dice it too finely or you'll never see it. So you're just going to have little nice chunks. So let's get that on. Just a touch of oil. Put that in there. And we're going to add some garlic. We'll grab a clove of garlic, 1 big clove, or I'll grab 2 little ones. With garlic, just get a good garlic press. You can just press it with your skin on and all, and out the bottom comes fresh garlic. Look at that. Give it a bit of a stir around. So while we're adding a pasta sauce, this just adds a lot of extra flavour just to get things going. Now you can make your own tomato sauce if you want, but this is, when you're doing things in 30 minutes, you do need to take some shortcuts. So the next ingredient is lentils. And there's many ways you can get your lentils. The way I prefer to do it is pre-cook them, and just lentils and water, and then I store them in the freezer or the fridge in little containers like this, and then you can bring them out whenever you want. You can also buy tinned lentils, or you can just cook them yourself on the day that you need them. But they take around about 30 minutes to cook, so they don't really work for this style of quick meal. So we want 2 cups of lentils. Let's get that going up a bit faster. There's 1 cup and 2 good cups of lentils. I'll leave it on top there so the onions can continue to sear. And when they're finished, we'll add the tomato sauce. So great start to our meal. Okay, let's crack into the Seedy slaw. This is another great coleslaw from my cafes. It's really popular. And this one's bursting with flavour. So if you don't like coleslaw, then you'll want to try this. Looks like the potatoes are boiling, so I better put a lid on, and we'll just turn that down a bit, just to low, or medium, so they still want them bubbling, but not hugely aggressively. So, coleslaw, the first 3 main ingredients are cabbage, white cabbage, purple cabbage, and carrots. And purple cabbage is a really important ingredient. Often people make coleslaw with white cabbage and carrot, and it looks really bland, so you want to make sure that you do have purple cabbage. It's a worthwhile addition. Always aiming for colour in any kind of salad. So let's peel these carrots. And we're going to put them, boiling over, just turn that down a bit. So it's just boiling. Let's leave the lid off a little bit. So put these carrots, we're going to use food processor. This is a great tool. Now you could grate these just on a hand grater, but this is really fast. And if you look in your cupboard, you probably find you've got these wonderful attachments that you've never used with your food processor before. This is a grater attachment. You can do coarse grating on one side, fine grating on the other. So what we're going to do is just turn it on and feed these guys through. We'll just chop off the ends and just push it through. In a very short time, you've got yourself a lot of food. There you go. So that is very well grated. Now we're going to change to another blade, and you will find usually in your kit a slicer blade. So often you might have a coarse on one side and a fine on the other side. This one has an adjustable one, which is quite nifty. So we'll just set it kind of about a medium setting. And we're going to use this to put the cabbage through. So you just need to chop off a wedge of red cabbage, and we want to cut this so it's going to fit through the hole at the top. And we're probably aiming for around about 2 cups of each item, so 6 cups in total of these vegetables. Just cut out the core part. Chop it into slices, and then we can feed it in. Just so quick. Again, if you've got good knife skills, you could just use a knife and chop it up. But if you want to save yourself a couple of minutes in the preparation, these things are great. And there we have it. Oops, I put the basin. Not meant to grate that, slice that bit. And there we have a lovely load of sliced cabbage and carrot ready for the coleslaw. So with this one, we want to make a dressing. And very simple dressing. This is a lemon dressing that we use at Revive quite often for quite a lot of our salads. Firstly, we need some lemons. So some lemon juice. So you want around about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. This is just a good go-to dressing when you want something to add to some vegetables or a coleslaw. It's just a lovely neutral kind of dressing. Just put it in here, strain it through my fingers. Pips always seem to get in, look at that. Better fish those seeds out. I'm going to make the dressing in the bowl to save dishes primarily, but also it's just a great place to make it. There's no reason why you can't. I'm going to be adding a tablespoon of honey, a bit of sweetness. Going to add some cumin, just a teaspoon of cumin. Tablespoon of oil. And half a teaspoon of salt. Just going to mix it around with a spoon, and that's the dressing made. Just going to pop all these just beautiful chopped cabbage and carrot in there, trying to mix it around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this in the bowl and leave it on top of the dressing, and then I'm going to mix it up just before we serve. And that way you've got a really nice fresh coleslaw, whereas if you leave things in the dressing too long, they tend to, just mix it around, they tend to get a little bit, you can kind of tell they're a little bit old. So if you want it as fresh as possible, this is a really neat trick to try. Oh, making a bit of a mess here, that's always the fun with coleslaw. But now the most interesting part of this salad is the seedy side of it. It's a seedy slaw. It's going to add some beautiful seeds. And as a rule, probably want around about a tablespoon of each. So we've got some sesame seeds, white sesame seeds, and black sesame seeds give amazing colour. So if you can hunt some of these down, they're at some supermarkets and most health stores. I've got some celery seeds, and celery seeds are just amazing. They're little seeds that you'd use if you were growing celery. Have a look at that. And they just taste like celery, and they're just really amazing. I'm going to add some fennel seeds, just probably about a teaspoon of fennel seeds, and these are a great flavour as well. This one hasn't been opened before. So fennel seeds are a great seed as well. So you've got all these beautiful flavours bursting through when you eat this coleslaw. So fennel seeds are quite strong, so just a teaspoon of those. And a tablespoon of poppy seeds as well for some more colour. So it truly lives up to its name of being a seedy slaw. So that's ready to go, and all we'll do before we dress it, we'll just mix it up together and put a bit of a garnish on top. Meanwhile, I better check these. The onions are getting nice and cooked like that. And we're just going to add the pasta sauce, so we want around about 2 cups. 1, 2 cups. And mix that all up. And this will become the base for our shepherdess pie. So lots of flavour in here. I might add a little bit of extra salt, because we do have some lentils in there. For a bit more tomato sauce. So we're making great progress on our meal today. If you've just joined us on Cook 30, we're cooking a delicious healthy meal. We have a shepherdess pie with lentils and potato mash. We're serving this with a juicy, seedy slaw and lemon dressing. We have a sesame cucumber ribbon salad, and to finish it off, a delicious pineapple rice pudding. Now this cucumber salad is really easy to make. Grab a cucumber. Telegraph's generally best because the skin is eatable, so just any kind of cucumber with an edible skin. And we're just going to start peeling like this. And when you get down to the seeds, turn it around and do the next side. And we pretty much want to do a triangle, so we're doing essentially 3 sides. So we're going to make sure we've got nice big thick ribbons. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect. I'll turn around again, not quite a triangle, But just want to make sure we're getting, there we go. Once that starts happening, you've generally gone far enough. But just peel as much as you can, and you want to have as much of that dark green in there as possible. So you generally want to not have too many seeds, so we'll just reserve that. We can make a nice dip or a dressing out of that some other time. And we're just going to put these beautiful ribbons of cucumber on a nice platter. Just drop them so they kind of twist beautifully. They generally just land pretty naturally. I mean, look at these beautiful textures and shapes there. Just make sure it's bent nicely like that. Isn't that beautiful? Just brilliant. And you know it's going to be fresh and alive. Need a little dressing to go with that. So we've got a sesame dressing. So we're going to start with 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. Don't need much. 1, 2. We're going to add just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We're going to juice some lemons again. Lemons really add great zest to any kind of a dressing. So we're around about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So we'll pour that in there. Okay, the aim is to not get any pips in this time. Look at that. I'm going to add a bit of tablespoon of honey. And also one thing that's going to set this salad off really nicely is just a teaspoon of ginger. Just a little bit in there, just to give it just a nice bit of bite. And stir that up. We can't mix this dressing in the salad itself because you do need to give a bit of a stir up with the ginger. Just like that. Look at that beautiful dressing. Okay, let's just pour it over, and that dressing will be soaked up by that cucumber amazingly. Before we serve it, we might just do a little bit of a mixture again. And to garnish, we've just got use some chilies or some small red peppers. The chilies are really nice in this, but I'm just going to keep this mild. So just slice off the ends and just give a nice long diagonal slice. So you've kind of got donut shaped peppers or chilies. As thin as you can make it. When you use your knife, make sure you rock it back and forth. And you've got a good action so that the knife makes good contact with the board every time. Just put those over like that. And just a sprinkling of sesame seeds. And that is one beautiful, fresh, delicate salad. So now time to start the rice pudding. So I've cooked some rice previously and put it in the fridge. So whenever you cook rice, always cook extra because it's really handy the following days. So you want to start with around about 2 cups of pre-cooked brown rice. Let's put that in a pan. I've turned that on already. And want around about 1 cup of milk. Soy milk, almond milk, oat milk, whatever you want. Just in there, just to make it a little bit creamy. So give that a bit of a stir around, turn up the heat. Now if we just leave this in here for a couple of minutes, that rice will absorb all that almond milk, which I'm using now, and become a really great base for our up and coming pineapple rice pudding. Just tap it like that, get all the rice separated, and it's a really great way. You could actually start the rice at the beginning of the meal, but you'd probably take over 30 minutes, so it's just a good way to get it underway. So now we want to get the shepherdess pie in the oven. So number 1, this thing here is looking really good. It looks like it's nice and stewed together. The onions cooked a little bit and the lentils and the tomatoes have all mixed together. So this is going to be the base, so we're just going to pour it in some kind of a good dish appropriate for a shepherd's pie or shepherdess pie. And we call it a shepherdess pie because there's no meat in it. It's lentils, healthy lentils instead. So just spoon that around on the bottom, and that's a really flavoursome base to have. These potatoes I think are done. They're starting to break apart, which is good. Just test your pot before you pick it up. I'm just going to drain it in the colander. I'm just going to need to in there. Just going to start mashing it. Let's get a potato masher and just mash it. Now with this potato mash, we don't want it to be perfectly mashed. We want it a little bit rustic, so we want to just under mash a little bit. So there's a few little chunks of potato floating around there. It just makes it really interesting when you're eating a dish to come across a different texture or a little chunk of potato. So you don't need to be too perfect in that. And also you notice there's the potato skins as well. They add great texture as well, along with lack of wastage, easy time. So I generally try not to peel my vegetables where possible. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sweet chilli sauce, which will give it a bit of sweetness and a bit of interest. We're going to add a tablespoon of whole grain mustard and half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to add about a cup of milk. That'll make it nice and creamy. And turmeric. Turmeric will just add a beautiful yellow colour. So we want around about 1/4 teaspoon, which is about that much. So we'll just stir that up, and this will become a really nice topping for our shepherdess pie. So all these beautiful flavours of the mustard, the sweet chilli sauce will really make a nice topping. Probably a bit more liquidy than I would like, but it will still be fine. It should firm up a little bit in the oven. And then we're just going to tip it on there. Look at that. And that is the topping. How easy is that? Now this is all actually cooked, so you could technically eat it now, but it's just quite nice to have it just to set a little bit and just get the flavours to mingle in the oven. So I'm just going to put it in the oven. So we're on 350 Fahrenheit, which is about 180 Celsius, and we'll put it in there. Probably got around about 7 to 10 minutes left in our meal, and then it'll just cook and just be finished by the time we're ready to serve. We're making great progress on this meal. We've got the salad, the Seedy slaw is done and ready to go, just needs mixing. The cucumber salad is done. The shepherdess pie with lentils and potato mash is in the oven, just finishing off. So let's finish the dessert. One ingredient for this dessert is bananas. And I've just got some frozen bananas here. Just adds a nice touch. So make sure when you've got bananas left over, you put them in the freezer and freeze them. So we've got about 2 bananas. We'll better start with the pineapple. So we're just going to use a fresh pineapple, and again, if you've just got a normal canned pineapple, this will be fine for this dish as well. But when you've got fresh, it's obviously a preference to use. So take the top and the bottom off, and then we'll just slice down the side, making sure you get rid of all of the naughty eyes that are in there. Aren't that nice to eat? Slice it in half, slice again, and then you can just take off this hard core in the middle. So you can use half this pineapple in the mix itself. Just going to chop it up so the blender likes it, like that, and that'll turn to pineapple juice pretty quickly. Might just add a little bit more as well. And then we're adding the bananas in as well. That's about 2 bananas. And let's blend it. So let's check the rice. Look at that. Beautiful and thick. That almond milk's really soaked into that rice nicely. Beautiful. This is lovely and blended. A nice thick banana pineapple mix. Put that together, look at that. And now what we're going to do now is just stir it together. And we've got this beautiful pineapple, creamy rice kind of mixture here that's just going to go beautifully. So get some nice glass serving dishes. And we're just going to pour it in. I might just get a cup, this could get very messy. I tried to use the bowl. Just pour them in like this. So this is a great healthy dessert that you can have, You don't need to rely on ice cream and all these unhealthy things that can make you not feel that great, zap your energy and vitality. So these simple desserts can be very delicious. And on top, we're just going to get some of this pineapple and just chop it up into little cubes. Just like that. Really thin dices. Kind of rough, doesn't have to be too perfect. Just put some of that on top. Bit of freshness coming in there. And a bit of mint on top, and then we'll be ready to take this to the table. Shepherd's pie is in the oven. That'll be ready very shortly, and that's pretty much the meal ready to go. And there we have that delicious shepherdess pie with lentils and potato mash. A really healthy, whole foods, warming winter meal, I suppose. Put that on the table. And we've got these two amazing salads. The Seedy slaw with all those fennel seeds, poppy seeds, just bursting with flavour. You know that's going to taste fantastic. And this beautiful, subtle cucumber ribbon salad. Absolutely delicious. And of course, don't forget the pineapple dessert. Very quick and easy to make. Thank you for joining me today on Cook 30. I hope you've learned some new skills, ingredients and techniques that can help you make deliciously healthy meals for your family. I look forward to seeing you next time.